In this video, we'll explore a fascinating intersection: what AI can teach us about ancient Buddhist wisdom. At first glance, these worlds seem worlds apart, but both probe the nature of reality, perception, and the self. Let's start with a question. Can technology amplify compassion? In 2015, China's Longquan Temple answered this by creating Xian'er, the world's first AI-powered monk. Programmed with Buddhist scriptures and voice recognition, it explains Dharma with a mix of wisdom and humor. But as Venerable Suecheng, one of its creators, reminds us, Xian'er is a deep integration of Buddhism and modern science. Technology transforms the physical world. Buddhism transforms the spiritual. The two must unite to guide humanity towards goodness.
他在表达这个佛教的智慧的时候，他就比较轻松。
This project isn't just about novelty. It's a bold experiment in how AI might help us see the truths Buddhism has taught for millennia, like the illusory nature of reality. Let's unpack that. Let's start with a simple observation. Have you ever asked ChatGPT for advice or marveled at AI-generated art? Those answers and images aren't real in the traditional sense. They're essentially controlled hallucinations, patterns stitched together from human data. And here's where Buddhism comes in. For over 2,000 years, Buddhist philosophy has been exploring the idea that reality itself is a kind of illusion. To understand why AI hallucinates, we need to look at how it works. AI models, particularly neural networks, are built like a web of artificial neurons. These neurons take in inputs, apply rules and parameters, and produce outputs. Through training, the network adjusts these rules to predict better patterns in the data it's fed. But here's the fascinating part. The behavior of these neurons isn't explicitly programmed. It emerges from the interactions of countless arrangements of neurons working together. This phenomenon is called emergent properties, and it's a rising topic of research within the scientific community. Emergent properties arise when single components interact in complex ways, creating behaviors that aren't predictable from the individual parts alone. Does this sound familiar? In Buddhism, this is dependent arising in action. All phenomena arise from the interplay of causes and conditions, not from any inherent independent essence. AI hallucinates because it has no inherent understanding of reality. It mimics patterns from the data we feed it. AI models are trained on vast amounts of human-generated data, text, images, and more, which they use to infer patterns and generate outputs. This human data is essentially a reflection of our minds, or rather, the collective mental frameworks we've constructed over time. Just as Buddhism teaches that all phenomena arise dependently, AI's outputs depend entirely on the conditions of its training data. These outputs are essentially reflections of the data they've absorbed, shaped by algorithms that prioritize statistical likelihood over intrinsic meaning. Think of AI like a mirror. It reflects our biases, our creativity, even our flaws. When AI generates a distorted image, it's not lying, it's showing us how our own data constructs reality. Does this sound familiar? Buddhists also call this Maya, the illusion of a fixed, independent world. As the Yogacara school teaches, all phenomena are merely the transformations of consciousness. They are like a magician's illusion, a dream, or reflection in a mirror. Vasubandhu, 30 verses on consciousness only. Yogacara thinkers argued that subject and object aren't separate. When you see a tree, your mind isn't here and the tree there, they arise together. AI works the same way. It doesn't think independently, its outputs depend on human inputs. No data, no AI. Take deepfakes. They're 100% synthetic, yet feel real. Buddhists would say, so is everything else. The chair you're sitting on? A label your mind slaps onto a swirling mass of atoms. AI just makes this illusion obvious. But here's where it gets even more interesting. AI's outputs, whether text, images, or decisions, are conceptual constructs that appear solid and coherent, but they're actually fuzzy inferences built on probabilistic patterns rather than deep understanding. For example, an AI might generate a convincing essay or a lifelike image, but it doesn't know what it's creating in the way a human does. It's stitching together fragments of data, much like how our minds construct reality from sensory inputs and mental associations. This fuzziness is a reminder that what we perceive as real is often a constructed approximation, not an absolute truth. In Buddhism, this aligns with the idea that all phenomena are empty. They lack inherent existence and are instead dependent on causes, conditions, and mental projections. AI, in this sense, is a modern manifestation of an ancient truth. Reality is a collaborative illusion, shaped by the interplay of countless factors. So when AI generates a deepfake or a poetic line, it's not creating something out of nothing. It's weaving together threads of human thought, culture, and creativity. In doing so, it mirrors the non-dual nature of reality, where subject and object, creator and creation are inseparable. Let's go deeper. In Buddhism, dependent origination isn't just about physical causes. It's also about karmic action. Every action, karma, we take, whether physical, verbal, or mental, sets off a chain of causes and effects that shape our reality. AI too is shaped by karmic-like forces. The data is trained on reflects human actions, our words, choices, and even our biases. When AI generates an output, it's essentially the fruition of the digital karma, a result of countless human decisions and interactions. Even AI's creativity isn't original. It remixes human ideas, like how a Buddhist might say, a flower is made of sunlight, soil, and rain. AI reminds us, we're all collages of conditions. But here's the twist. Just as our actions create karmic ripples, the outputs of AI can also influence the world, creating new causes and conditions. For example, an AI-generated piece of art might inspire a human artist who then creates something new, feeding back into the cycle of creativity and karma. In Buddhism, this is the web of interdependence, where every action, every thought, and every condition is linked. AI doesn't exist in isolation, it's a part of this vast, dynamic network. As Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully expressed, we are here to awaken from the illusion of our separateness. This illusion of separateness, the idea that we, or AI, exist independently, is precisely what dependent origination dispels. AI, like all phenomena, arise from causes and conditions, reminding us that nothing exists in isolation. Whether it's a neural network or a human mind, everything is a part of the same interdependent web, shaping and being shaped by the world around it. Here's the takeaway. AI's biases, racist algorithms, sexist chatbots aren't glitches, they're reflections of us. Yogacara, a school of Buddhist philosophy, warned that our store consciousness hoards mental seeds, good and bad, that shape our reality. These seeds are the imprints of our past actions, thoughts, and habits, and how they influence how we perceive and interact with the world. AI works in this way. It absorbs the data we feed it, our worlds, our choices, our biases, and reflects them back at us. When an AI system produces biased or harmful outputs, it's not because the machine is inherently flawed, it's because it's mirroring the flaws in our own collective mind. This is why fixing AI isn't just about coding or tweaking algorithms, it's about fixing ourselves. Buddhism's Eightfold Path offers a roadmap for this kind of transformation. Two of its key principles, right intention and right action, are especially relevant here. Right intention means cultivating wholesome motivations like compassion and non-harming, while right action means acting in ways that align with these intentions. So what happens when we apply these principles to AI? Train AI with ethical data, and it becomes a tool for compassion. Feed it garbage, well, you know the result. Buddhists might say AI is empty, it has no fixed identity. It can amplify greed or spread wisdom depending on how we use it. Imagine AI that teaches meditation, translates ancient sutras, or even helps us see our own biases. That's the middle way, using technology without clinging to it. After all, even the Buddha adapted his teachings to his audience. Time to adapt Dharma for the digital age. Next time you see an AI hallucination, remember, it's not just a glitch, it's a mirror showing us how we construct reality, and maybe a nudge to build a wiser, kinder world. If this video resonated with you, feel free to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What's your take on AI and Buddhism? Let's continue this conversation. And remember, form is emptiness. Emptiness is form, even in the digital age.